grade 6, once again, welcome for your SST lesson. I've sampled some few questions which you did in your just ended term 1 2022 exam. The first question I want to discuss is identify the three arms of the government. That is the national government. The national government has got three arms. These are the legislature, which is also known as the parliament. Then we also have the executive, which is headed by the president. And then the other arm is judiciary. The three arms of the national government are executive, legislature, and the judiciary. The judiciary is headed by the Chief Justice, who is Martha Koome as of today. Then the legislature, which is also known as parliament, is headed by the Speaker, Moses Wetangula, the National Assembly. And then the executive is headed by the president, and the other members of the executive are the deputy president, and of course the CS, cabinet secretaries, plus the attorney general, and all the civil servants. They make up the executive. Then there was another question which boys and girls also gave you a lot of challenge, and I'm sure this time as I go through, you're also writing down. Countries bordering Kenya. Countries bordering Kenya. It is good to look at who are our neighbors in all the sides of the compass. To the east, we have Somalia. To the southeast, our neighbor is the Indian Ocean. To the south and also southwest, we have Tanzania. And then to the west, we have Uganda. And to the northwest, we have South Sudan. So the question was, who is our neighbor to the north? To the north, our neighbor is Ethiopia, whose capital city is Addis Ababa. And the other question posing challenge to you boys was, sample ways of conserving historic built environments. How do we conserve and protect our historic built environments? There are quite a number of ways. We can do so by way of cleaning them, by way of clearing the bush, by way of fencing them, by way of repainting them, by way of arranging, if there are portals inside, and also labeling them, and by way of handling items in the historic built environments with care, and also by way of displaying the rules on the notice board of the historic built environment, so that whoever comes there, whether a tourist, international or local, you can follow the right way. And also, we as Kenyans, we embrace what we call local tourism. And then the other question was climatic regions. Which are the main climatic regions in Eastern Africa? The main climatic regions in East Africa are equatorial, modified equatorial climate, tropical climate, subtropical climate, and then semi-arid and desert climate. And then on the same question, you are given some characteristics. Remember, boys and girls, each climatic region has its characteristics, which makes it to be that particular climatic region. And you are given these climatic regions: high rainfall throughout the year, high temperatures throughout the year, high humidity. The climate is hot and wet throughout the year. Now, according to these characteristics, the climatic region which fits the above mentioned characteristics is none other than equatorial climate, and that was the correct option. Then, Eastern Africa comprises of how many countries, and which is the largest and the smallest? That was the question. Remember, Eastern Africa comprises of 11 countries, and of these 11 countries, the largest is Sudan, whose square kilometers is 1,861,484 kilometers square. And the smallest is South Sudan, who are intending to move their capital from Juba to Ramshell, and the smallest Djibouti, the smallest Djibouti, whose kilometers in terms of square is. Djibouti is the smallest country in Eastern Africa, whose capital city is Djibouti, and it is 23,200 kilometers square. Who among these traditional leaders was involved in the long-distance trade before the coming of the Europeans? This was yet another question. And we were given a number of, we were given 4 traditional leaders. There was Oloibon Lenana, who was a Maasai leader. He never took part in long distance. Then there was there was Mekatilili Menza. She was born in the year 1840, and she was a political leader of the Agiriama. Then there was Jomo Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta was born in the year 1896 in Ngenda, in Kiambu district. He led Kenya to independence, and then the correct option was Chief Kivoi Wamwendwa. He was born in the year 1780 in Kitui, and he was a long distance trader. Remember, he's the same person who took Dr. Krapf to the top of Mount Lukenya, and then when Kivoi was up there, when Krapf was up there, he looked around and he saw a marvelous world. And then he said, "Look Kenya, look Kenya." And then Kivoi could not pronounce the word "look Kenya." Instead of saying "look Kenya," he said "look Kenya." Even up to now, that hill is known as Lukenya. Next, qualities of a good leader are as follows. A good leader must be caring. A good leader must be honest. A good leader must be just. A good leader must be kind. A good leader must be understanding. A good leader must be loving, must be humble, must be good-hearted, must be merciful, must be considerate, must be remorseful, and also must be ready to listen and share ideas with others. So the one which was not a quality of a good leader was dishonest. The one which was correct was caring. The rest, rude, unjust, dishonest, were all wrong options. And then that diagram you are seeing there, whereby Mangima is pushed to the surface through what you call explosion, that one is the formation of volcanic mountains, which are formed through a process known as volcanicity. And examples of mountains formed through this process of volcanicity are Mount Kenya, Mount Elgon, Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Suswa, Mount Moroto in Uganda, Mount Ngorongoro in Tanzania, Mount Mufumbiro in Uganda, DRC border, then Mount Ethiopian Islands, Adamawa Islands, Mount Longonot in Kenya, and of course Mount Meru in Tanzania, near Arusha town. Remember, Pare, Usambara, Rwenzori are all block mountains. Countries crossed by equator in East Africa are 3, and these countries are Somalia, Kenya, Uganda. You, as a boy, if you got this question wrong, get to know that countries in Eastern Africa that are passed by the equator are Somalia, Kenya, and Uganda. The factors affecting population distribution. What are the factors affecting? Why do some areas are densely populated while others are not? These are the factors. So, population distribution in Eastern Africa is influenced by several factors, including climate. Where the climate is good, expect high population. Temperatures. Where the temperatures are hot and dry, expect the least population. So the factors are climate, temperature, soil, relief, vegetation, presence of water, government policy, drainage, economic factors, pests and diseases, and of course political factors meaning that violence caused by political differences may discourage settlement in some areas. Next, name areas in Kenya where dairy farming is practiced. Areas in Kenya where dairy farming is practiced are like Kisii, Kericho, Nyeri, Naivasha, Nyahururu, Njoro, Nakuru, Nyamira, Kapsabet, Bomet, Kitale, Machakos, Gucha, Murang'a, Kirinyaga, Thika, Kiambu, Meru, Embu, and Endama Ravine. There are quite a number of places. Remember, dairy farming is where you keep animals for the production of milk only. Historic built environment in Eastern Africa and the country found. Which are the main? Name the main historic built environment in Eastern Africa and the country they are found. 1. Kigali Genocide Memorial Museum in Rwanda. Namugongo Shrine in Uganda. Fort Jesus Museum in Kenya. The People's Palace in Djibouti. Independence Monument in Burundi. The other one is John Garanga Mausoleum in South Sudan. Black Oak Crash Site Museum in Somalia. St. Francis Monument in Eritrea. Roman Kiosk in Sudan. Then the other one is Askari Monument in Tanzania. And of course we have Victory Monument in Ethiopia. Those are the main historic built environments in Eastern Africa and the country where they are found. What are physical features? And they are divided into many. Physical features, these are the natural things that are found on the surface of the earth. And they are divided into relief features and drainage features. What are relief features? Relief features are the features that are seen above the surface of the earth. These are like hills, mountains, plateaus, plains, and of course valleys. Drainage features. What are drainage features? These are physical features that are associated with the water. Good examples are rivers, lakes, swamps, oceans, dams, and the seas, just to name a few. And then, the last one, before we turn over. The elements of a good map. A good map, there are 5 elements of a good map. Number 1, title, frame, scale, key, which is also known as legend, and of course, compass. And then the other one is, who are the band speakers in Tanzania? Who are the band speakers in Tanzania, boys and girls? The main band speakers in Tanzania include the Chaga, the Hehe, the Ha, the Bena, the Goni, Fifa, Pare, Yao, Sukuma, Makua, Pogoro, Zigua, Ngogo wa Shamba, and of course Gindo. Those are some of the main Bantu speakers in Tanzania. And lastly, boys, the symbols of national unity in Kenya. What are these symbols? Symbols of national unity. These are the things which make us, which bring us together to be one person, to be one people, to be one nation. And these are national anthem. We have only one national anthem in Kenya and not 2. There, the other one is the public seal. This is now the government stamp. Public seal is the government. If you go to university, if you do your exam, national exam, automatically the certificate you get must have that public seal. And then the other one is coat of arms. Coat of arms. And lastly but not least, the national flag, which remains to be hoisted in any government office or block. Thank you, boys. You may